The industry, man, it's not the same. Doesn't have to do with talent. It's about playing the game. The industry, real niggas is dying to get in. The industry, justifying they don't fit in. The industry ain't what it used to be. The industry's trying to control the way you MC. They want you to dress like this and talk like that. But I'm going to dress like this and talk with the bat. The industry got your word meaning nothing. The industry, fuck what you heard because he's bluffing. The industry, money, bitches, hate, but I dare you to try to take a fucking thing off my plate. The industry like, wait, but in the streets we like, get 'em. 17 up in that thing, catch 'em sleeping and hit 'em. The industry, if you ain't got a strong mind, the industry will break you down, it's a matter of time. The industry, vultures with nothing to feast on. See me, I'm getting my beast on. The industry, stay in the dirt, play in the dirt, test the wrong one in the industry and you will get hurt. I'm not an industry artist, I'm an artist in the industry. So I do what the fuck I want because nobody can finish me. The industry, wanted, dead or alive, new artists to sell their souls in the way they survive. The industry don't give a fuck about you, but the industry couldn't make a dime without you. The industry, I'm sick of this industry shit. The industry playing them like a industry bitch. They tried to finish me quick, but I am long, so I stand strong. Fuck a beat. Listen to the words in the damn song.
It's an evil world we live in.
I've got a secret.
I worship the devil.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
You're doing these songs, you know, you're still on tour.
I do, but I don't take it for granted.
Why do you still do it? Why are you still out here?
Well, it goes back to the destiny thing. I mean, I made a bargain with it, you know, a long time ago, and I'm holding up my end.
What was your bargain?
To get where I am now.
Should I ask who you made the bargain with?
with the chief commander on this earth, and this earth, and then in a world we can't see. Hey, Chavis, how come they ain't killing us? 'Cause we're in the spirit world, asshole. They can't see us.
Thank you to Satan for giving me inspiration on how to play this role.
I sold my soul to the devil. I know it's a crappy deal. Lisa came with a few toys like a Happy Meal.
I did a song called Fortunate Fan. And it's like the hook goes.
One thing we all adore, something worth dying for. Nothing but pain, stuck in this game, searching for fortune.
Fame, something we all adore. The one thing we dying for.
Nothing but pain, stuck in this game.
Searching for fortune and fame. That's what I hear. It's so basic that we all want to be famous and noticed and watched, and we all want money and riches, and we all want to find us out of life from a
Lucifer, son of the morning, I'm gonna chase you out of earth.
I kind of sang about, you know, what was going on in my life at 15, and that's how I got introduced to the music industry. 'Cause I swear I wanted to be like the Amy Grant of music. Yeah. But it didn't work out.
So I sold my soul to the devil.
Yeah, well, sometimes they don't want to, and they're, you know, Gaga, we can't get, you know, the frequency's weird, and, you know, it's sounding a little bit strange, and I'm like,
If you don't get this right now, I swear to Lucifer, I'm gonna...
I am misunderstood a lot at times. My music, my image, people have their whole thing about me, whether it be me being a devil worshiper or whatever. Besides them reading into my hand over my eye on my album cover.
Why is your hand over your eye on your album?
Because I'm a devil worshiper, what are you talking about?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Hold on, let me explain something to them real quick. Before everybody starts screaming and saying, oh, like I told y'all earlier, you motherfuckers entered the rapture. And if ain't nobody flying up to heaven right now, obviously all y'all motherfuckers going to hell. Right with me. So, let's get it. Oh, you already here. I'm so sorry. You can't get out. You're stuck. It's over. You heard the song 1,000,000 times and you didn't even know. That's up, but I still love you.
What did he say?
Today's daily random read comes from the first book of Kings, chapter 5, from verses 1 through 12, entitled, Hiram Sends Emissaries and Hiram to Help Build the Temple. And Hiram, king of Tyre, sent his servants unto Solomon, for he had heard that they had anointed him king in the room of his father, for Hiram was ever a lover of David. And Solomon sent to Hiram, saying, Thou knowest how that David my father could not build an house unto the name of the Lord his God, for the wars which were about him on every side, until the Lord put them under the soles of his feet. But now the Lord my God hath given me rest on every side, so that there is neither adversary nor evil occurrent. And behold, I purpose to build an house unto the name of the Lord my God, as the Lord spake unto David my father, saying, Thy son, whom I will set upon thy throne in thy room, he shall build an house unto my name. Now therefore, command thou that they hew me cedar trees out of Lebanon, and my servants shall be with thy servants. And unto thee will I give hire for thy servants according to all that thou shalt appoint. For thou knowest that there is not among us any that can skill to hew timber like unto the Sidonians. And it came to pass, when Hiram heard the words of Solomon, that he rejoiced greatly and said, Blessed be the Lord this day, which hath given unto David a wise son over this great people. And Hiram sent to Solomon, saying, I have considered the things which thou sentest to me for, and I will do all thy desire concerning timber of cedar, and concerning timber of fir. My servants shall bring them down from Lebanon unto the sea, and I will convey them by sea in floats unto the place that thou shalt appoint me, and will cause them to be discharged there. And thou shalt receive them, and thou shalt accomplish my desire in giving food for my household. So Hiram gave Solomon cedar trees and fir trees according to all his desire, and Solomon gave Hiram 20,000 measures of wheat for food to his household, and 20 measures of pure oil. Thus gave Solomon to Hiram year by year. And the Lord gave Solomon wisdom, as he promised him. And there was peace between Hiram and Solomon, and they two made a league together. Once again, this daily random read comes from the book of 1 Kings, chapter 5, from verses 1 through 12, entitled, Hiram Sends Emissaries and Hiram to Help Build the Temple. Good evening, and welcome to another episode of my journey with... No, I'm sorry, it's the wrong show. Welcome to another episode of Go Back to Sleep. I apologize for that. It's been a minute. Let me go ahead and get my co-host here real quick. There we go. Oh, man, I got to
How's it going?
I got to adjust
Happy
this thing.
Sunday.
What's going on, brother?
Just enjoying the beautiful weather. This type of weather makes coffee even better.
Gee, you're telling me, man. We got a wind chill here in Central Texas, man, and it's... Let me see. I'll let you guys know what the temperature here is. It's cold. It's really cold. As soon as I get this thing loaded up on my phone, it's 51 degrees.
Wow.
Yeah, with a wind chill. So for me, that's too cold for me. But I believe you guys are in the 70s where you're at, right?
Yeah, it's like the 70s or so during the day, and then it drops into the 40s at night. Not too bad at all.
It's not windy there, is it?
Nah.
Yeah. You know, I kind of learned here in Texas that it's going to be extreme on both ends. It's either going to be extremely hot or it's going to be extremely cold. I should have done more research before moving out here as far as the weather goes, but you know.
Well, it's definitely cooler there than it used to be.
That's what I've heard. I've heard it just recently started getting colder than usual.
The past about 5 years has been colder.
Yeah, that's about when I moved here. 2019 is when I moved here. And that's what I was told. I was told that it wasn't this cold before, but man, we get a breeze up here where I'm at. I can see the trees just shaking out there, on top of it being cold out there too. So, yeah, man. Anyways, we haven't done this show in a minute, and what you been up to since then?
I was just having fun creating. I've been working on. I just started doing this new game show.
On the
But I'm
foxhole,
doing it
right?
as, huh?
Out on the foxhole, right?
Yeah. But I've been doing just videos of it rather than, I haven't been live streaming it. I'm doing pre-recorded videos of it because I'm doing different characters. So I'm doing all the voices and stuff.
Oh, okay. So you're pretty much doing your podcast that you do, but you're putting videos on top of it now.
Yeah, well, it's like a game show, that particular thing. So
okay, got you.
Like the first one was Kermit the Frog versus James T. Kirk.
Is it kind of like the celebrity deathmatch kind of thing that they used to show on TV, on MTV?
Well, it definitely has celebrity types on it, but they're I'm showing them these random pictures, and they have a minute to come up with as many jokes or sayings about the picture as they can.
Ah, I see. Interesting. Are they fictional characters?
Yeah. Some real actors, but basically all the different people I could do the voices of.
Okay.
So
cool, man. Cool.
Pretty my impressionist skills to work there. But anyway, that's one of the things I've been doing. You've been busy doing some music, huh?
Man, I've been busy with gigs, man, and it's a good thing. All praises to God, man. He's giving me what I can handle. They've been smaller events, but nonetheless, man, like this past week we just had 3. We had one on Thursday. We had from Thursday all the way to yesterday, and somebody just hit us up for next week Saturday. So, I'm just grateful that God has been really good to us, man. He's been really giving us throwing some love our way, as far as gigs go. So I'm just grateful for that. And it seems that we're kind of we're growing. Our business is kind of growing. I mean, it's not explosively growing, but nonetheless, we're growing because just doing the numbers compared to the first year to this year, we're definitely doing a lot more this year. And I'm hoping, despite all the things that are going on economically with the stuff that's going on out there in the Middle East and in the Baltic region, those conflicts out there, because it's going to have an effect on the economy worldwide, and I'm just hoping that we still stay afloat. So, we'll see, man. We'll see. But for now, I'm very blessed, and there's not a day where I don't thank God. I thank Him every single day. Sometimes I thank Him multiple times a day, but that's just me, man. That's just me. So,
and that's great. I'm really glad to see that it's expanding and
yeah, man,
becoming more.
Yeah, and a lot of people that hit us up, they always say, "Well, I noticed that you're a father and daughter DJ duo, and I thought that was cool." And I'm thinking, wow, man, our names are kind of getting out there, which is good. That's good for us, So
yeah, well, and that's something that's not that usual. I haven't really heard of anyone else doing that, pretty much. So,
I mean, I've talked to other DJs who kind of do bring their children with them and kind of do it, but they don't advertise themselves as such.
Right.
But I think the people that talk to us, that come and inquire to us, they say, "Oh, the reason why is because we thought that this was a cool thing that you're doing this with your daughter." And to be quite honest, man, the only reason why I started this whole DJ bit was because of her. When she started to learn how to DJ, because at the time, when she was learning how to DJ, I was still working as a cop. And let's see, I got into my incident after she started learning, And because she was able to pick it up real quick and she got really better, like she got really good at it real fast, then I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take a risk and put it all in the line, and I'm going to start this company, and it's going to be because of her. You know, I want to be able to set her up for her future. I want her to learn how to run her own business even before she becomes 18. And that's the reason why I went into business and did it. Not for well, of course it's self-serving for me, but at the same time, there's a lot of angles to this because I want her to learn how to take care of herself. You know, I'm not trying to make her one of those quote independent type kind of women, but I don't want her reverting to like things that the modern women do now, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Right.
want her to have to expose her skin to
Right.
to
certain
make
webs, certain sites.
yeah, man. I just
Yeah.
don't want that for her. You know, and so I'm teaching her like, look, you can make your own living using the skills that God has given you. And if he's giving you the skill, then use it. You know, use it to not necessarily to your advantage, but to glorify him and to also make a living off of it. And you don't have to be a millionaire. You just have to be able to take care of yourself. And I told her, look,
right,
because you know she's at that preteen age that she's like, yeah, I don't want to DJ anymore because she's growing up. She's beginning to figure out what she wants to do for herself, right? But I told her, I'm like, look, here's the good thing about you doing this whole thing right now. It's like you're saving up money. And when it comes time for you to want to get a car, you don't have to say, hey, Dad, can you buy me a car? Because you know I can't buy you a car. But rather you would say to me, hey, Dad, could you take me to the shop so I can buy a car? You know? And not only that, but you know, I told her, I'm like, you know what? It'll be really cool if you even got your own house in your 20s because not a lot of young people think about that kind of stuff.
Right.
So, you know, I'm trying to teach her the best I can, you know. I'm trying to lead her in a path that I didn't have this guidance. I learned all these things late in my life. And I don't want her to have to go through a hard time in learning. I'd rather share my bad experiences with her so that she'll think and say, "Oh, I don't want to go through that." So, yeah, man, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at now, man.
Sweet.
Yeah. Anyhow, I know that was a long explanation of that thing, but tonight's show, you want to tell the people what you've picked for tonight?
Yeah, so we have an interesting group, a throwback. You probably have forgotten about these guys, but we are going to delve into the world of NXS.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
Which the name of the band itself speaks volumes, I would say.
This should be an interesting one. I was doing more research on the lead singer and what his incident was when they started becoming really famous. That's the angle that I took. What angle did you take as far as the research that you did?
Well, I was just looking into everything surrounding the song and stuff, and just noticing some of the similarities to a lot of the other artists that we've covered as far as when they launched in success and what happened, stuff around the timing of them becoming successful.
You know what I thought about this thing too when I did a little bit of the research that I did? Bono he was a good friend of Bono's. And we all know, I mean, we don't know for sure, but I think we can grasp an idea of what Bono's all about.
Yeah.
He's definitely not a godly man. He's definitely not a man who holds God in high regard. I mean, he may say it. He may claim to be a quote Christian, but his actions definitely do speak more volumes than what he says. I don't know if you caught the U2's latest concert out in Vegas in the Sphere, but it was a very bizarre concert, man. It's a very bizarre concert. But
well, that one that we covered a few months ago was really weird as well.
which song was it again?
Well, it was a U2. We were talking about one of their concerts out in Europe somewhere at some.
Oh yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah.
real new agey and
Yeah.
had a lot of like Egyptian symbology and stuff.
Yep. Yeah, now I remember. Yes. So, I guess let's go ahead and start. How we always do this with their bio. Let's start with their bio first. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this up here. Wait, before I even continue on, I want to welcome everybody who's here. I mean, I know I have a small crowd, but nonetheless, I want to say hello to a few people here. We'll start over here on the YouTube side. Joseph Zebso, good evening to you. Shulamite, good evening. Krista Cadogan, good evening. Thank you all for joining us here. This is not the typical fellowship show, but nonetheless, we kind of expose what the works of Satan is in the music industry. If it's your first time around here, only because there's a lot of people out there, your quote normies, who they still can't figure out that the devil is the one who's actually spearheading the whole entertainment business to influence people. Out on the foxhole, I haven't been here in a minute. What's going on, Subpack Vet? It's my brother right there. Thank you so much for the can, bro. Thank you, man. And I believe I have somebody out there on the Twitch side of things too. Miss Maskless, thank you for joining me out on the Twitch lands, giving me a viewership there, man, because I barely get anybody out there. But hey, it's time for people to look into other, platforms, because, man, I'm telling you, man, YouTube, there's some strange stuff going on, bro.
Yeah.
There's a lot of strange stuff going on where every time I post biblical readings, I lose a viewer for that. Or not a viewer, but a subscriber, which is bizarre to me. So unless they don't like the scriptures, then, it's up to them. They want to unsubscribe. But I just kind of find it funny that happens when my channel's solely based on spreading the gospel. So I don't know. What do I know? Anyhow.
Yeah, well, it's definitely some weird algorithmical things going on as well.
Yeah, definitely their new policies, it's pretty much they determine when to, what to do to your channel, because I just recently got a video taken out too. Like almost a week ago, they just took out a video. And this video has been posted for like 2 years. So they decide, oh yeah, we're going to take it out. So, they just do whatever they want to. But it's to be expected. I'm using the B system against itself. Right. So of course, it's going to happen. So anyhow, let's go ahead and go here. Let me go ahead and share this with you.
So that band name itself kind of reminds me, it makes me think of Aleister Crowley.
In Excess?
Yeah. And just that, like, hedonism in general.
Oh. Yeah, I can see why.
Living life in excess.
Mm-hmm.
Just like going bonkers, with any kind of materialistic thing, which definitely fits with any type of, Luciferian type stuff. They're all about that excess.
Well, this particular song that we're going to do today, definitely it plays into, I guess you can say the 7 deadly sins.
Right.
It definitely plays into that. And if you guys don't know what song we're doing today, we'll be reviewing The Devil Inside. And to be honest, my take on the whole title of the song is the sinful ways that man has in their flesh. That's my interpretation of what the song is all about. But
yeah, that's what That's what they also that they've claimed like that it's about as well. But I also couldn't help but wonder if it was also a little bit of truth regarding the music industry. If they're, like they're singing about it, like the music industry itself, like,
I
they're
see.
saying every single one of us has the devil inside kind of thing.
Right, right.
Because, that is part of the club you got to be part of in order to get ahead.
You got to earn your way into the club.
Yep.
You got to do these certain types of things to get into that club. So
exactly.
All right, let's go ahead and go here. Let's start this off. We'll do our typical. I'll do the first two, you do the next two, and so on and so forth. So as always, we get the bios here at allmusic.com. And this biography was written by Thomas Erlewine. Article reads, In Excess hailed from the pubs of Australia, which is part of the reason the band never comfortably fit in with New Wave. Even when they branched out into synth pop on their early recordings, they were underpinned by a hard, stony beat and the Jagger-esque strut of the lead singer, Michael Hutchence. Ultimately, these were the very things that made INXS into international superstars in the late 80s. By that time, the group had harnessed its hard rock dance and new wave influence into a sleek, stylish groove that made their 1987 album Kick a multi-million selling hit. I wonder what else they did to get that multi-million dollar hit album. While that sound was their key to stardom, it also proved to be their undoing. INXS became boxed in by their style of stony pop funk in the early 90s when audiences became entranced by harder-edged alternative rock. Yeah, that's when alternative rock came into the scene right there.
Grunge. And
yep.
Pearl Jam, Stone Temple Pilots.
Thanks, Seattle, for that. The band continued to tour and record for a dedicated fan base until Hutchins' untimely death in 1997 brought the band's heyday to a close. And just my opinion, there's something really fishy about that death, man. There was really something fishy about that one. And if you guys stick around like after the YouTube stream, because we can't show these videos on the YouTube stream, if you guys go to the Foxhole or onto Twitch, there's an interview that I'm gonna play of Hutchins', I guess, fiance, and just her answers to some of these questions. The eyes told me a lot. Her facial expression and her body language told me a lot more than what her mouth told me. Let's just put it that way. Appropriately for a band that featured three brothers, INXS had their roots in a family act. The Ferris brothers. The group came together while keyboardist Andrew Ferris, the middle brother, was attending high school with vocalist Michael Hutchence. The two formed a band with bassist Gary Beers. Simultaneously, guitarist Tim Ferris was playing in a various group with his friends, guitarist saxophonist Kirk Pengley. Eventually, the two groups merged in 1977 with John Ferris joining the unified lineup as a drummer. 2 years later, when John graduated from high school, the band renamed itself INXS, moved from Perth to Sydney, and began to play the pub circuit. Within a year, the group landed an Australian record contract and released an eponymous debut on Deluxe in 1980.
INXS and Underneath the Colors became Australian hits, leading the band to an American contract with Atco Records. In 1983, they released their U.S. debut, Shabu Shabu, and embarked on an extensive tour, which, thanks to the hit single Don't Change, made them minor new wave stars. For their next album, INXS recorded a few sessions with producer Nile Rodgers, which resulted in the sleek, funky Original Sin. The first inclination that the band was making a move toward a fusion of Stonesy, rock, and dance music. Original Sin made 1984's The Swing a minor hit. Yet the group didn't have a genuine mainstream breakthrough until 1985's Listen Like Thieves, which climbed to number 11 in the US on the strength of its single, What You Need.
The titles of these songs are very sus, man.
Yep, exactly. That's kind of like when they're almost courting the big club, Luciferian club, with their songs, Original Sin and everything.
Yep.
All right, Listen Like Thieves laid the groundwork for Kick, the album that made NXS international superstars, probably because of what they sang about. You know, like all those bands do a certain song, like glorifying the devil in certain ways, and then they get huge off of that song. Well, same thing with these guys. Released late in 1987, Kick worked its way to multi-platinum status over the course of 1988 as 4 singles: the number 1 Need You Tonight, The Devil Inside, New Sensation, Never Tear Us Apart. They climbed into the US top 10. In the wake of the album's success, Hutchins was hailed in some quarters as the heir to Jagger's throne, and the group was considered to rival U2 in terms of international popularity. However, such success went to the group's head, of course. Hutchins released the quote-unquote experimental side project Max Q in early 1990, and the record tanked. X, NXS's follow-up to Kick, appeared in the fall of 1990 to mostly negative reviews. While the album generated several hits, including Disappear and Bitter Tears, only its first single, Suicide Blonde, reached the top 10 in the US. And the sales of X were disappointing when compared to Kick.
X hurt NXS momentum considerably. Although the group was still quite popular on its accompanying tour, the 91 live album Live Baby Live was recorded at Wembley Stadium, the second largest stadium in Europe. The group could no longer be considered in the same league as U2, which they are good friends with, or REM. Hutchins continued to live a jet-setting lifestyle, dating Kylie Minogue. Wow, she's a cutie, man. And various supermodels, which did not wear well in the wake of alternative rock's commercial breakthrough in 92. By the time NXS released Welcome to Whatever You Are, or Wherever You Are, their most adventurous record, they were out of date in 92, and even a rash of reviews that favorably compared the record to U2's Achtung Baby couldn't make it a hit. Full Moon, Dirty Hearts, man, these names for reals, dude, followed in 93 and was generally ignored. Following its release, NXS left Atlantic's roster, releasing Greatest Hits as their last album for the label. NXS signed with Polygram in 94, and yet it took them 3 years to release a new album. During that time, Hutchins was involved in several tabloid scandals, mostly notably his love affair with British TV personality Paula Yates, which brought an end to her marriage to Bob Geldof. And he hinted that he was recording a solo album. That record didn't materialize, but NXS returned in the spring of 97 with Elegantly Wasted. While the album was greeted with poor reviews, its hedonistic dance rock was better suited in the late 90s than in the early 90s, which made the record the group's biggest hit since X. On November 22nd of that year, however, Hutchins was found dead in his Sydney hotel room, the victim of an apparent hanging. His long in the works solo debut was posthumously issued in late '99.
Parents Trent D'Arby took the frontman role for an abbreviated set at the opening of Sydney's Stadium Australia in '99, and John Stevens filled the spot for occasional gigs that took place through the end of 2003. The latter singer eventually left to pursue a solo career. INXS remained quiet throughout the following year, but in 2005, they teamed up with reality show maverick Mark Burnett to launch Rockstar INXS, a global TV show that aimed to find a permanent replacement for Hutchins. The winner was J.D. Fortune, a former Elvis impersonator. That's interesting. Fortune joined INXS. He became a Hutchins impersonator, I guess, and sang on their 2005 album Switch. I didn't even know they made another album.
I didn't know either.
Of course, I didn't know any album besides after Kick. So,
yeah, same here. I wasn't a big NXS fan.
No. And they participated in the accompanying world tour. Switch only charted well in Fortune's native Canada, though, and his cocaine habit drove a wedge between Fortune and his bandmates as the tour wound down. Another period of inactivity followed. When INXS returned in 2010, they did so with a long list of guest vocalists, retaining Fortune as the official frontman, but enlisting stars like Rob Thomas, Ben Harper, to appear on their next album, Original Sin, which featured reworked versions of the band's past hits. Really? Released in November of 2010, it charted just outside the top 40 in Australia. The band played often during the subsequent 2 years, but at the end of 2012 announced they were not going on tour anymore. A miniseries fictionalizing the band's history called INXS Never Tear Us Apart aired on Australian TV in 2014, and 5 years later, a documentary about Michael Hutchins called Mystify, A Musical Journey with Michael Hutchins, was released, accompanied by a soundtrack.
You know, what's catching me right now are all the titles of these songs, man. It has something to do with mysticism and the occult and all these things, man. So, and you know, his quote suicide, to me, I think the circumstances surrounding that was kind of weird. I know I don't have solid evidence of what really happened, but on the interview that I watched, his then fiance or / girlfriend said that the coroner ruled out suicide as a purpose for death. So, you know, who knows what happened? Who knows what happened? But definitely,
makes me wonder if it was a ritualistic in nature.
I mean, it could have been. It could have been. That's not ruled out. But knowing that this guy kind of broke up a relationship between the girl that he started dating and the dude, that could be put into play too. So, you know, it just. This whole, you know, with the title of the song that we're dealing with too, that's one of the most deadliest sins is lust, you know?
Yeah.
So it all intertwines with each other, the whole thing, you know, with the song title and what we're going to be talking about. Hold on for a moment. Okay. So let's go here.
So
go ahead.
What's interesting is, you know, I'm pretty positive that he was into Crowley. because a lot of the music industry is
They
up in
love
the
him, man.
Aleister Crowley stuff.
Yeah, they love him, dude. They regard him as like maybe I don't if they don't regard him as a god, small g of course, then they probably revert to him as some kind of prophet for sure. Let's see. All right. So here's an article that I found here from ultimateclassicrock.com. This one was it was just recently written, February of this year. Title is
This is a good one. This is what I was saying, like most articles that I found all connected to this article.
Huh. Okay.
Like every time I look for something, it went back to this article. So
these guys probably wrote this. They probably wrote the first story, and everybody else was using this as their reference point.
Exactly.
Nancy M is asking who's being discussed. We're talking about In Excess tonight. In Excess, and we're talking about the song "Devil Inside." And you know me, I'm gonna pull some scriptures later on in regards to this whole thing with quote the devil inside, because that definitely has to deal with sin within. But I'll pull that in a bit. So article reads here, why one NXS member struggled with quote the devil inside. As NXS climbed to new heights of success with their 1987 album Kick, the release of quote Devil Inside would help fortify the Australian band as reliable hit makers across the globe. Released in February of '88 as the second single from the group's 6th LP. Wow, look at the numbers just line up, huh? The group's what? 6th LP. Devil Inside not only capitalized on the massive success of Kick's first single, Need You Tonight, it also marked a definitive turning point in the band's slow burning rise over the past 5 years. I'll go ahead and do this paragraph. Rock artists have never shielded away from their fascination with the devil. And with, quote, Devil Inside, NXS singer Michael Hutchins said the song was meant to examine the fight between good and evil that he believed was inside everyone. I was on a God and the devil phase there, Hutchins said of the song lyrics, which he wrote. Oh, interesting. He wrote it himself.
Yeah.
I suppose it's to do with the chaos of everything, and we put it into religious terms, I suppose. The devil is chaotic, so that every time you think something's right, he comes in and changes everything. Now, I want to say something about that. If you don't have a relationship with Christ, you're definitely going to be having these battles all the time. Because I can honestly say to myself that prior to me having a relationship with Christ, I would definitely struggle within myself about good and bad, right and wrong, but always having to choose wrong and not even caring about what the consequences may be of those wrongs. But ever since I started walking in this, walking the journey and having faith in Christ, I know where what I'm supposed to choose, and I feel a lot more peaceful too. So for those who don't have that relationship, there's going to be a lot of chaotic moments you have because you're not spiritually grounded in Christ. That's just my opinion on that. I just thought I'd throw that in there. All right, go ahead, brother.
All right. Still, as much as Hutchins valued the lyrics he wrote for NXS, he was more inclined to share the personal views behind them in interviews. I'd rather articulate my own position on things in an interview than in a song, he told Rolling Stone in 1988. Because I think it could be a compromise. I'm not a great political lyricist, and I don't claim to be. I don't like knee-jerk politics. Anybody can read the front pages and write down, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad. This is probably the most educated and conscientious generation in history. They're not stupid.
No, we're more.
This is the 88, so Gen X.
Yeah, dude, it's worse now. It's past conscientious.
Well, he was saying this in '88.
No, I know, but I'm
But
saying
now it's
a different level, dude.
they're not. Well, now you can erase the educated part and the conscientious part.
We'll just call it
the
woke.
cell phone generation.
We'll call it woke.
Yeah, the woke world. Okay, so it says, why tell people something they read in the newspapers last month? We don't make any great claims to change the world, but hopefully somewhere in our lyrics we are prodding people. NXS's rising stature with Devil Inside happened to coincide with the downfall of televangelist Jimmy Swaggart.
Oh, man.
A year earlier, Swaggart had accused fellow televangelist Jim Baker
That's another
of
one right there.
immoral sexual relations.
Those two clowns, man.
The worst. Televangelists are just not that great.
No, they're not.
Not to mention the 10 pounds of makeup that Tammy Faye used to wear.
Yep.
So he says, but he's talking about Swaggart when he said his skeleton surfaced too, including the revelation that he had performed voyeuristic acts with a prostitute. Yeah, right. Voyeuristic. Mm-hmm.
None of this was lost on Hutchins, who discussed the duplicity of televangelists. Man, I'm telling you, man, those guys are clowns. In the Rolling Stone interview, it wasn't long before he began dedicating Devil Inside to Swaggart during the band's concerts. It surprises me that people are so outraged that Swaggart gets busted, Hutchins said. It's incredible how people are raised above and become pious individuals, and everybody looks up to them, and they have complete faith. Well, that's only if you're not biblically grounded. If you're not biblically grounded, then of course you're going to be led off astray because you don't know the spirit of Christ. You don't know the characteristics of Christ himself. If you don't read for yourself, if you don't educate yourself to who God is, rather if you regard these people as the ones to give you the information, then you're gonna be lost. That's just my opinion. It's wonderful to have faith, but I don't think the Pope is any better than anyone else. Well, he's got that right.
It's worse because he's faking it.
He's definitely got that right about the Pope even today. By addressing the devil, and I don't believe in the devil, it's a metaphor.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And not trying to achieve the angel, we're all a lot better off. Even with the song's massive success, Devil Inside reached number 2 on the Billboard charts, other NXS members weren't particularly comfortable with its subject matter. In a 2022 interview with Bart Herbison of Nashville Songwriters Association International, Devil Inside co-writers and NXS keyboardist Andrew Ferris admitted he used to struggle with the sentiment behind the song.
So the thing is, like up there, he says something about it's better to address the devil than it is to try and achieve the angel. I don't agree with that at all. It's better to try and do as much as you can towards being a better person than it is to, and I think he really secretly, it almost seems like he really meant to say embrace the devil instead of address, because that's pretty much what that industry does.
They sure do. And not only do they embrace the devil, but they glorify the devil.
Right. Exactly.
It's just gotten so worse nowadays, man. It's just it's so
wild
out there. It's so, I mean, at this point, right? And I know part of the reason why we do the show is to expose the music industry, because let's face it, man, there's a lot of people, either they don't want to see it or they just can't.
Right.
These days now, there's no way that you can tell yourself that, oh, that's all just for entertainment. You can't,
exactly.
You just can't say it, dude. Even somebody who's not spiritually grounded, you can't say that, oh, that's just entertainment. it's becoming normalized, you know?
You're really trying to normalize it. All right. Hutchins used to love that song, and it was great live as well, Ferris said. The crowd went bananas, you know, but it wasn't that so much as I used to struggle with the song a little bit because I didn't write the lyric. This guy wrote the music. Ferris wrote all the music, and the lead singer wrote all the lyrics, but so he wrote the lyric, and I have some belief about life and the afterlife. And I thought, ooh, this is kind of interesting, this lyric. But then again, I took the view, well, that's art. See, that's the same thing as saying, well, that's just entertainment.
That's art. Okay.
Well, I don't agree with this, but hey, that's art. Yeah.
Hey, man, just write
about
it. Bro.
Just abdicating all of your moral fortitude.
Just saying, just write it, bro. We're gonna get rich.
Like, well, I don't really believe this, but screw it. I'll just I'll go for lack of integrity and just go against my own beliefs just for fame and fortune. That's pretty much what the devil would want anyway. So it's kind of like, well, you just gave him what he wanted.
Yep.
Ferris noted that Hutchins was a gifted lyricist, even if he didn't fully comprehend what the late singer was going for in Devil Inside. Oh, he comprehended it. I mean, it's not that hard.
Right.
I mean, this song, I was like 13 when this song came out, and I knew what it was talking about. I mean, here's the last paragraph. I'll wrap it up. Michael had a real genius for putting words together. And what used to really impress me the most with the way we worked together is that he would never question what I was doing musically or be competitive. He wouldn't say, if I had done that, I would have done it this way. He would just trust me implicitly, and then I would have the same respect for him with lyrics. Well, you should have got in there a little bit more. So sometimes if I didn't quite understand some of the lyrics that he was writing, I just went, well, maybe I just don't quite get it yet.
Wow.
That's just
so passive, dude.
Abdicating responsibility.
Pacificity, dude. Being passive.
Maybe I just don't understand what he means by having the devil inside. Yeah, right. I don't buy it.
The things that you got to do for fame, dude. You gotta let him in, dude. You gotta let him in.
Well, and they did right after that song and that single. That's when the band launched into superstardom.
Man,
it wasn't on any of the songs before that. It was that one, which is pretty obvious to me because that happens all the time.
Yeah, no, it does. It sure does. All right, let me. So I found this little short article here. Tells us the meaning by
this is a good one too.
Songtell.com. It tells us a little bit of a meaning, but I think we can make our own interpretation just by listening to when we start reviewing the lyrics. But this is an interesting angle of it too. So I'll read it. This was published this year in April. This is from Songtell.com. The song Devil Inside by INXS speaks about the duality of human nature. Exactly. That's exactly what it talks about. There's an internal battle within self, like especially for those people who don't have a relationship with Christ, which is why I'm a big proponent on, look, dude, you got to be guided by the right spirit. And the way you do that is to have a relationship with Christ. How every person is capable of having a dark side or a, quote, devil inside. The lyrics describe how both men and women can have a menacing look and sharp words that can hurt others. The verses also allude to the divide between the rich and the poor. I mean, I don't really see that angle, but sure. I mean, if you're of the world, if you pursue stuff of the world, you ultimately become evil, because if you're of the world will love you, and if the world loves you, you're gonna gain much of the world and prosper in the world. with the second verse touching on the uncertain future faced by humanity. The hook emphasizes that no one is immune to having an evil side to them. The guitar solo adds to the intensity of the song, and that's the thing about music, bro. Like, they can say these things, but the melody of the song can always enhance the lyrics, you know? Pardon me. While the outros iterates the message that no matter who you are, everyone has a devil inside them. Overall, the song is a commentary on the dark aspects of humanity and the constant battle within ourselves to choose good over evil. So yes, to make it simple for this whole article is right there. I'm highlighting the duality of human nature. That's basically what it is. You're having an internal struggle within yourself. But if you're not biblically sound, if you don't have a relationship with Christ, this is going to be a problem for you. And usually you'll lose that battle because the flesh is weak. But if you're able to recognize things, while you're having a relationship with Christ, and you know the type of person you are, and you if you understand that, then I think it'll be a lot more easier to deal with these internal struggles. If that makes any, what do you think?
Oh yeah, having a spiritual foundation really can assist one with lots of stuff, but it gives one a compass of how to guide one's decision making and stuff. And then, as we're growing in that relationship, it doesn't make us at first 100% immune to these types of thoughts or temptations or whatever, but it gives us the fortitude to withstand them and to not actually give into any of that.
Right.
And that's the difference. You have more of a fortitude to withstand the that side of human nature.
I wouldn't really necessarily use the word withstand, but rather, I'll use myself as an example. So I still struggle with some sin, right? So as far as attractive women, my eyes will always, always have these thoughts about women and what I want to do, and have these conversations with my friends back then. Like, oh yeah, would you? Yo, of course I would. But now that I'm in a relationship with Christ, I don't think it's my own doing, but rather I try to appease God, because I don't want to be the old filthy me that I was, and I wouldn't say that I'm looking towards myself to fix myself. Rather, I'm giving everything I can't handle to him in order for me. I'm having him work with me, if that makes any sense. Maybe I'm not articulating it well, but I'm giving everything to him, but at the same time, I'm more conscious about making the right decision. If
right.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to say. I suck at explaining things, but yeah.
No, it's all good. I got what you're saying.
Yeah, that's basically why I think it's important that people have a relationship with Christ, because when they recognize what they're capable of thinking or doing, or all these things that goes within themselves, and they don't have that guidance, man, it's just a bad thing, man. They're gonna be led to doing what makes them feel good. And don't get me wrong, even though sometimes I overcome, I wouldn't say I by myself, but sometimes when I do overcome sin, man, I feel like it almost feels like I just want to battle, and I feel good about that, and I strive to keep on going that direction. But hey, the reality of it is, it's a difficult thing. It's a difficult thing, but I do lean more towards God to help me, and I try to do the best I can with what I can do for myself, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Well, that's just what it one of the parts of the works as we are consistently improving, working to improve ourselves. But I can't help but think that this song um has a certain hidden, like, literal aspect to it. Especially since it's a song that propelled this group into the superstardom, which happens with a lot of songs about the devil or Satan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, anytime there's a song about that, then that artist, boom, becomes overnight a huge success. I still kind of think that it has a bit of actual truth to it. It's not just metaphor. And I think he's talking about the music industry itself.
Well, that's what the devil does, man.
They really do have like, we've seen how many artists that have, like, talk about hearing voices and have, like, these spirits that mess with them while they can't sleep by themselves and all that. Like, I think that a lot of these people really do have devils inside them.
Literally, yeah. No, I agree.
Literally, not just a metaphor.
And here's a scripture that I pulled that I think that really resonates with today's song, right? Galatians chapter 5 from verses 19 through 21. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulsions, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murder. This is exactly what the devil inside is. Drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God. And this is exactly what a lot of these celebrities are, and the people that follow these celebrities.
I wonder the emulations. I wonder what they're emulating, like what that part means.
To copy them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who are they copying that to be? Well, a lot of fans like to emulate their the musical artists that they worship.
Idolatry. That's exactly what it is too, man. Idolatry.
Like, we see that with all the Swiftians or whatever they're called.
Man, there's just because look, I mean, the music right now, right? Adultery, fornication, uncleanliness, lasciviousness. We see this in today's music, right? Drunkenness, for sure. Gangster rap, it definitely does. What do you call it? Glorifies murder, right? This whole thing right here, this whole list is exactly what the entertainment, I would say the whole entertainment industry is about. Not just the music industry, but also with movies and TV shows, everything. This just wraps it up all into one right here in this particular scripture. Now let's go ahead and hit up another article here that I found.
That was good. That's a very appropriate scripture there.
Well, all praises to God, man. He's the one who points these things out, and I just follow. No, not this article. I'm sorry. Here we go. This is the article right here. This right here, man, it told me a lot to have a friendship with that particular person right there. This comes from standard.co.uk. And I'll go ahead and start this one off. Article reads.
He just looks evil, doesn't he? He has that, like, Michael LaVey kind of look to him.
He looks all tore up, man. He looks worn out.
It's that adrenochrome. It'll get you.
He's out of it.
Yeah, he's like, withdrawals.
His supply is short. All right, so it says here Bono ended friendship with Michael Hutchence because the late star spiraled down the vortex of drug use. Well, I wonder why he had drug use. What was he masking?
Yeah.
What was he covering up? See, and that's the thing. A lot of people think
Right.
that a lot of these celebrities get into drugs because it's one of those things that they just do. Like, nah, dude. You usually use that kind of stuff to mask something that's going on inside you. So what was it that he was trying to mask, you know? I don't think
Right.
people ask these questions that are very relevant to why they use these substances. You know, they're trying to escape some kind of reality from, but what is it? What reality that they're trying to escape from? What is it? You know? All right, this one was from Dominique Hines. And look at the numbers. November 2nd, 2022. Bono has revealed that he stopped speaking to tragic INXS singer Michael Hutchence due to his excessive drug use. In an excerpt from his book Surrender, 40 Songs, One Story, the U2 frontman, 62, writes that he and his wife, Allie Hewson, made the decision to cut ties to close pals Hutchence and his TV partner TV presenter partner Paula Yates in the early 90s over the pair's substance abuse. He said, "Things changed as the two spiraled down the vortex of a recreational drug use that has become hard work for everyone, especially their family, especially the younger ones." All right, brother.
He continued, as their behavior changed, our friendship became strained and we grew uncomfortable during their visits. In 96, Hutchence and Yates asked Bono and Hewson to be godparents to their newborn daughter, Heavenly Irani Tiger Lily Hutchence Geldof. Can you imagine that kid trying to write that on their school reports? Man. However, they declined because they were, quote unquote, so wigged out by the couple's drug use, and the move ended their friendship.
On November 22nd, 1997, a maid found Hutchence dead in his Sydney hotel room. A coroner ruled the 37-year-old musician had committed suicide. Yates died from a heroin overdose in 2000. Oh, really? Oh, I didn't even know that part.
So the lady he was with.
She must have known some stuff too, man.
Well, yeah.
Neither of us dreamed they both end up dead so soon. Even now, I can't believe I've just written that, Bono wrote. Tiger Lily was adopted and raised by Yates' ex-husband, Sir Bob Geldof.
That's kind of strange too.
Well, that's the article right there, man. So that's interesting. I didn't even know that she had passed a few years after him. But, you know, the interview that I want to share. I mean, I think we can share it here. Fair use, of course. It's just a little excerpt that I want to share here. Let me hold on. Let me fix this up here real quick, okay? Here. Okay. So check this out. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna share this video. Just a little clipping of it. Fair use, YouTube. Fair use. Because I think it's pretty interesting as to see her body language and what she's saying, because the two don't kind of jive with each other. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and put yourself on mute, Java, and then I'll put myself on mute while I'm just gonna play a little part of this. So we're going to be talking about this YouTube. So it's fair use. Fair use. Let me go ahead and get this video started here, and I'll be right back after the clip.
The coroner ruled that deep in depression and influenced by drugs and alcohol, Michael committed suicide. There were suggestions at the time that his death was a result of a sex act gone horribly wrong.
All you gotta do is walk right in.
The coroner ruled that out. But Paula Yates believes the coroner got it wrong. Do you think it was an accident then?
In as much as it's an accident when you're doing something like that, I don't think he meant to die.
It was not a subject he discussed with you? This
What,
idea
suicide?
The idea of not burning out,
Oh, God, no.
rusting
Michael
away.
thought suicide was the most awful thing in the whole world, the most cowardly act, the most, just a cop-out. You know, for a man with a family to think about deliberately, you know, dying, he would have just thought that was awful.
The evidence that would rule out suicide would seem to be if you had ever seen Michael using the devices of autoeroticism, or in fact, if he had ever talked to you about it.
Yeah, but I think anyone would be a little naive to think Michael hadn't thought of everything.
He was the kind of man who would try everything.
I think he had tried everything.
All right. Java. What do you think, bro?
She's very disingenuous.
Yeah, her eyes said a lot. Her eyes did say a lot, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's trying to cover up.
It's obvious
like
that
a cover up.
Exactly, dude. I got the same feeling. Like she knows something, and it's almost as if she cannot say it. You know? But you know.
Yeah,
that,
she didn't even directly say what she was trying to say. She just alluded and had the interviewer fill in the blanks.
Mm-hmm.
So she definitely, there's no wonder what happened to her later, because it probably got to her real bad.
I think so too, man.
Like what actually happened got to her.
Yeah, I think so. And I think they needed to get rid of her, because it got to a point possibly that she would have just said something.
Yeah, she was gonna spill the beans.
Crazy, dude. But yeah,
she looked definitely not like she was telling the truth at all. She kept looking to the side while she was talking.
Yep.
Like she was getting approval from whoever was over there.
Even her facial expressions, man, said a lot more than her mouth did.
Yeah.
And see, why? Okay, so this, man, what am I trying to say here? What I'm trying to say is that sometimes what people may say is not exactly what the message is. It's it's people's body language. It's people's reaction to their eyes and their face.
Oh yeah.
That gives
80% of communication is nonverbal. So
man, and I've learned that I've learned a lot of that from my former job, and playing a lot of poker, of course. But yeah, man, every time I would interview somebody for a crime, I would always look at them. And of course, you know, I can't prove that they're lying, but I know right away that they're lying just based on how their body language is to me.
Right.
You know? I mean, I can get if somebody's nervous, I can get that, but I wouldn't say that I got it right a lot of the times, but I would definitely have a hunch like, oh yeah, this person's probably lying to me, because they're looking to the side, their face is moving in like they're making this facial expression that doesn't jive with the answer they're giving me.
Right.
So yeah, man. Yep.
Hey,
All right.
so do you know if this picture here is the official graphic for the single or not?
I don't know.
I'm asking because if you look at the this devil on here's feet on the skateboard, and you look right behind it.
Yes,
there's
I see
that
it.
pedo symbol.
Yep, I see it.
It's like there twice.
Let's blow it up.
It's like, sure, that's supposed to be the guy's eyes, kind of, but I mean,
no, I think we
that's
all know
definitely the
what that
pedo
is.
symbol right there.
You know, it's interesting now that you mentioned it. Let's go see what else is in this picture right here. Let's go even deeper. So you caught those two things over there. I mean, the
Gotta
devil.
be something to that left, so the left over there. That was
Which it's like an eagle.
I don't know if there's any symbols in there.
No, it does look like an eagle to the left where it says USA.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And of course, the upside down broken cross, the peace sign. That's what it really is. It's a broken upside down cross. The peace sign.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and delve into the lyrics here. So we're here on genius.com and we're going to break down, we're going to check these lyrics out and see what's in there. I mean, I think it's going to be pretty straight up as far as the song goes, but let's check it out. Go ahead and start off with it on the first verse, brother.
All right, and the intro kind of sounds like the Count from Sesame Street. But okay, verse 1. Here comes the woman with the look in her eye, raised on leather with flesh on her mind. Okay, still trying to figure out what raised on leather is. But
let's read
is that
on.
like dominatrix type thing or what?
Probably.
Words as weapons, sharper than knives, makes you wonder how the other half die. Other half die. Makes you wonder.
Okay, so what's
The other half of what?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Are we talking spiritual half and fleshly half? I mean, what are we talking about here? Because I don't understand this.
And then with flesh on her mind, I don't know. It's very odd. Is it like a sacrificial type thing?
Well, it could also allude to being in sin, because the flesh is, living in the flesh is sin.
Then it says, here come the man with the look in his eye.
Oh, we know who that man he's talking about.
Yep. He's fed on nothing, but full of pride.
Lucy. Sounds like Lucy
another
to
deadly
me.
Sin. What's that?
Sounds like Lucy to me.
Yep. Look at them go. Look at them kick. And it has them there. And I don't think it's in the trans sense of the word.
No, I think it's
talking about both of them together.
I think they're
makes you wonder how the other half live.
See, what is the other half that they're talking about? That's
if you put them together, it's one. Yeah, it's definitely has to be one half physical, half spiritual. And the quote unquote man one is what you're saying, I think.
Which one? Oh, yeah.
Luciferianism.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so, I don't know, like the woman's trying to wonder how like Satan and stuff could die. And then what is it implying Satan or whatever is wondering how the woman could live. I don't know. It's very, and they both say halves. When you're half, that means you're a part of something else.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not,
well,
herself and him. It's like they're halves of each other.
I don't know if this, I'm just throwing this out there. I don't know if it makes any connection, but it's worth a try, right? It's worth just to see, maybe there might be some kind of connection. Okay, so it's talking about a female and a male. Could it also be Adam and Eve? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know, but I don't, only because they mentioned a her and a him, a male and a female on both paragraphs here. I don't know if that could be an Adam and Eve connection.
It's that, or it's either the body and the spirit.
It could be that too.
Because the second part there being non-physical, that's why it says fed on nothing.
Right? It's a spirit.
Yeah.
And The devil is full of pride, Lucifer, right? That's the reason why he got kicked out of heaven, being prideful.
Exactly.
Look at them go, look at them kick. Makes you wonder how the other half live. The other half live. It could be a reference between spiritual and flesh. I think so.
That's what I think.
I think
because
so.
then the woman part at the first part represents the flesh or the physical. Then the second part represents the non-physical, which, is not alive as in the same sense of the word alive as a physical.
That's a hard one. Yeah, this is a hard one to break.
It's what it really. I think it is that because it's looking from the non-physical. They're watching the physical people like kick around and move around, and they wonder how they live.
Could it also be in reference to the Watchers?
Oh, maybe.
Right? Because the Watchers were watching the females, weren't they? Could be. I don't know. I'm not trying to reach here, but I'm just trying to make a connection as to what these lyrics are in reference to in the spirit. You know what I mean?
Well, that second part, I think that this then because it goes right into the chorus relates to the verse, obviously, and so I think that second part of the verse with the man, I think that that's supposed to represent the devil that's inside the woman or whatever.
And the devil only went inside the woman after she ate the fruit of the forbidden tree.
Right.
That's a hard one, dude. Let's keep going here. We'll get back to that. Maybe we have to read it. We have to read more to the other ones. All right. So the hook is, of course, the D's inside. The D's inside. Every single one of us. The D inside. This is definitely the flesh. That's my take on what the devil inside is. The flesh. And then verse 2. Here come the world with the look in its eye. That's funny. Here come the world with the look in its eye. So the world has an eye. Future uncertain, but certainly slight.
It's singular eye, kind of like the Illuminatus.
Ah, okay. Makes sense. Future uncertain, but certainly slight. Look at the face. Look at the faces. Listen to the bells. It's hard to believe we need a place called hell. Place called hell. It's hard to believe we need. Here come the world with the look in its eye. Future uncertain, but certainly slight. Okay. Look at the faces. Listen to the bells. It's hard to believe we need a place called hell. So is he saying that the world is hell?
It's hell, basically. And then because of the devil being everywhere. But and then we should notice that, see how it talks about the look in its eye when it talks about the world. But if you look at the first verse, the woman and the man, it also talked about the look in their eye also. So what kind of look are they talking about?
I don't know. What are you trying? What are you trying to allude to something, or?
I mean, the look. If it's talking about the devil being inside, it's got to be related to that. Like you could tell by looking in someone's eyes. I guess you could tell if you're looking in someone's eyes.
Oh, yes, you can. So. You definitely can, dude. I got stories, bro. Got stories from my old job, man. I bet. I swear, I've seen demons. And I'm talking about physical demons. I'm talking about people who are demonly possessed. I've seen them. And this was prior to me having a relationship with Christ. You can just tell, man. when you look into somebody's eyes and the way they talk to you and the facial expressions that they give you, man, I tell you,
Yeah.
those were demons, bro. That wasn't a, even if they were influenced by drugs, you felt the bad spirit. You just felt the
Right.
bad spirit around these people, man.
Yeah, and they had a certain look in their eye.
Dude. And they would
And
they would make those noises like also, and I'm like, dude, that's not an act.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. But yeah, no, now I understand what you're saying to that. Yes. I second that. And it goes to the
It's
hook.
interesting that they're trying to negate the whole location of hell or whatever, because they're saying that the earth itself already has that.
Yeah, but I think for the non-believers or the people who hate God, definitely have that. People who hate God can know the other person who hates God too. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
They recognize each other. That's what I'm trying to say. They recognize each other.
Right.
All right. So it says devil inside, every single one is the devil inside. And he repeats that. Do you wanna hum the guitar solo?
And then it brings it back to the first part of verse 1 again. With here comes the woman with the look in her. See, the look in her eye.
Mm-hmm.
Talked about the woman with the look in their eye, the man with the look, the world with the look in his eye.
So they definitely.
And it all talks about one eye.
They definitely recognize each other just by looking at each other's eyes.
Right.
I think, yeah. I mean, like I said, I can testify to that because I've seen it. I've seen it multiple times. Dude, I swear I've seen, people may say that, oh, he was just on drugs or he has mental issues. Man, that's a spirit, dude. There's something spiritual going on with that person right there. And yeah, could drugs be a part of it? It definitely can. But what does drugs do? It opens
up
you
the
up.
gateways.
Yeah, it
much.
opens you up, man. So verse 3 is just a repeat of verse 1, huh?
Yeah. But all of them just talk about one eye. Look in her eye. Look in his eye. Look in its eye. So a singular eye, that says a lot to me.
The all-seeing eye, right?
Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
And then this verse 2, where it's hard to, when it's talking about hell, how it's hard to believe that we need it because the devil's already here.
Well, he is the ruler of the earth, right?
Right.
He is the prince of the earth. He does rule the earth, and but no, I think I know what you're saying about this earth called hell. Which is why there's going to be a judgment at some point in time, man. There's going to be definitely a judgment. A lot of people like to say, like, man, I hope that the judgment comes sooner than later. People need to understand that if you're going to say something like that, you better be working on your relationship with Christ.
Better be ready.
Because I can honestly say to myself that I don't know if I'm ready for that. And I'm blessed. And I thank God every day that he still wakes me up because it gives me another opportunity to make right for all the wrongs that I do in my mind and in my heart. Because I may not sin, I may not physically sin, like, I may not be in the action of sin, but I guarantee that I don't guarantee, but I know that I always sin with my thoughts and in my heart, man. So people need to, before you say anything like that, man, you better be sure that you know what you're saying. Be careful what you wish for. Just put it that way, man.
Right.
So, cool. Well, I think
So yeah, it really makes the most sense that you have the physical woman and then the man parts not physical. It's more like Lucifer.
It could
fed on nothing, which means it's not in a body.
There might be a connection with the Adam and Eve thing too, because male female, they both fell. They both fell to sin. So I think it could also have a connection, not as much as the first connection that we made, but there could be. Definitely can be. Well, this is the part where we're going to share the video, but, YouTubes, man. I can't share it on the YouTubes. But you guys are more than welcome to join me over here on my Twitch channel, which I will share. I'll share my Twitch channel, and I'll also share my Foxhole channel. So you're more than welcome to go to those platforms there, where I can share the video and we can, discuss it a little bit further. And what we started doing too, is we started slowing down the video too to see if we can catch anything in the background as well.
Yep.
Let me hold on. Let me go back to this to the Zoom screen here. Right. And let me stop the share here. Let me check. Sorry, folks. My multitasking skills really suck. Give me a minute. I'm going to drop those links here real quick.
I remember when I first heard this song, like I was saying, in 87, I was in 6th grade. And I remember the song used to freak me out.
The song or the video?
Well, both. And I was like, why are they singing about the devil?
All right, so I put the links there for my Twitch channel and my Foxhole channel if you want to come over and join us with the video breakdown. If not, that's cool. But I appreciate you guys hanging out there. And to the guys on YouTube, I'm sorry that I can't interact with you guys. I wish I could, but my multitasking really sucks. I got like 3 screens up in front of me. I'm running the stream. I'm running the sharing of the stuff, and I'm throwing out the links there. So, yeah, I apologize for not interacting with you guys. But before I end the stream out on the YouTube side, you want to go ahead and share anything with the folks out in the YouTubes to check you out or anything like that?
Yeah, if they want to check out my podcast, they can look up I'm not over there right now, so I can't post the graphic of what the logo looks like, but it's 4 minutes and 20 seconds is the name of it, and it's on every major site that streams podcasts. Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music Podcast, Google Podcasts.
You can even go to the Foxhole too, and if you click on my profile link there, you can go to the main page of Foxhole, and I'm pretty sure if you type in the search part, you can find Java's channel there too. So
yep,
it's another way you can find him. But I do highly recommend you check out his podcast. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. He does all the voices for his characters.
Yep, I just did the 100th and 101st episode the other day, so I'm at 101. So
wow, 101.
Yep.
Good for you, man. Good for you for being dedicated to your work. That's good. It's really good. All right, so folks on YouTube's, I'll probably be on. I think I'm being led to do a fellowship maybe tonight. So I might do that tonight, later on tonight. If not, then for sure I will be doing a fellowship tomorrow. please, if you're on the YouTubes, hit share, like, subscribe, hit the notification button so you'll know when I'm on. I do post stuff on the community tabs over there too. Please just do what you can to help the channel grow. But I got to be honest, man. YouTube's algos and YouTube's new policies are screwing me up. I'm losing subscriptions. Not that I care about the numbers, but it seems to me that every time I post a read, and if you've been on this channel for a minute, you know that this channel is all about sharing the gospel. Every time I be posting videos on my reads, I lose subscriptions, which is kind of weird to me, because I don't add or take away from the scriptures. I read the scriptures as is. So I would assume that if that's what people like, then they would not unsubscribe. But it's happening. So there's other places you can follow me at. Just follow my link tree. And that's it. So for you guys on YouTube's, thank you for joining me. And if I didn't shout you out, I apologize. Cynthia Ava, Shulamite, Nana P, Mian M, Nancy M, Medusoid. Let me see who else is here before I let you guys go. Infinite Reach Ministries. I saw Hulk there, Brother Hulk. It's Joseph Zebso, I believe. I saw him earlier. And I think that's all I saw there. But hey, The Narrow Way, thank you. So yeah, shout out to you guys and thank you so much. God bless you guys and have a wonderful night. And we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys again. If not on this show, then definitely on the fellowship show. So let me find my way here on my thing. Okay. So to you guys on YouTube's, good night to you and God bless.